Hey, this is Jay with Royal Land Company. We got a new property that I wanted to make a quick walkthrough video. The name of the property is Your Own Private Neighborhood. We'll pull up Google Earth here in a second and take a look at it. But just the basics on this, it's a 14-acre property down in Dallas County, right outside of Bennett Springs. So let's jump into Google Earth. St. Louis, Kansas City, here's Springfield down here. Here's Dallas County, um, Lebanon over to the east, Buffalo to the west. Both of those places right at 20 miles away from our property. This is Highway 64 that runs east to west across here, either from 65 or 73, or if you're coming out of Lebanon, 64 back to the west. Right down here in this opening area, here's Bennett Springs. You can see all the campgrounds and everything. The actual river conservation areas up there on the north side of the road. So all of you trout fishermen that are looking for someplace close to Bennett Springs, this is your place. Our property is located off of Lead Mine Road, which is off this corner back up to the north. I normally don't leave the parcel lines up when I do these videos, but I wanted everybody to kind of see how this area is broken up. So the name of this subdivision is Winchester Gap. I don't know when it was subdivided and platted out, but going through and looking at the parcels, all of them are sold to individuals. So I don't have any reason to believe that the subdivision wasn't successful in selling the lots, but for some reason people chose not to build on it too much. There are very few actual structures. This is our property inside of this kind of circle road. So from Lead Mine Road up to the north, you'll go back to the west on this Winchester Road, and that's just this circle all the way around. It has the same name right here. As soon as you get to the T, you'll be looking at our property, and I've actually got a picture that'll show what that looks like. See if we can do some split screen here. There we go. So as you come to this T, this is what you'll see: our for sale sign, and then you're staring right at this edge of the property. This is this southeast corner, looking back up at the road. So I'm standing here looking back up this way. And then this is actually, so as you come south down this, take the corner, you'll see these different cul-de-sacs that have been platted into this subdivision, and they're actual gravel roads. But this is down one of those cul-de-sac roads. Actually, this is the first one. I'm standing here at this corner, looking down into the property. So I'm standing right there, looking towards the cul-de-sac circle. You can see the power lines running down this road, so the property has power to it. That we'll come back, and when we go through all the pictures, and I'll show you a couple other things on Google Earth. But for the most part, I think the pictures can do themselves justice without the side by side. So this is looking down that cul-de-sac. This is in my mind, the best feature of this property. It's got this just kind of flooded wetland area. It's just kind of a marsh. Now, I lied to you. I want to go back and show you where it's at. It's this little pocket right here. So off this first cul-de-sac, it's just a little bit to the north and the east. This hole in the woods, and it's cool. I'm a duck hunter, and so as soon as I saw that, all I could think about is that how many wood ducks and teal probably cover that thing up early fall. I don't know whether there's enough food and habitat to keep ducks there through the whole season. I would be surprised if there were, but it's a cool little area. I never had any boots. I assume the water is somewhere between ankle and knee deep. You can see up on the trees that it's not very deep. I suspect the bottom is pretty soft, but heck, I don't have any idea. Even anybody that's into wildlife, this is going to attract and draw a lot of animals because it looks like it stays wet year round. One other thing I want to make note of. Some of these pictures will look a little bit different. This is the very first time we went down and looked at the property. You can see the trees aren't leaved out all the way yet. And then some of these other pictures were after we actually had the property under contract. So these were just taken a couple of weeks ago. So I think that's a great feature of this property. And I think a lot of you outdoorsmen or outdoors folks will agree that this is a an attribute of this property that makes it unique and adds a lot of value to it. Particularly if you want to use it for hunting ground or if you just like to watch wildlife, you've got a built-in draw for them. The rest of the property is also cool. If I go back, here's one of the power poles, but I do want to go back to Google Earth and we'll look at the kind of topographical lay of this thing. It's kind of a bowl. You can see that it's low in the middle. All of it is walkable. The very first time we went and looked at it, it wasn't hot. The mosquitoes and ticks weren't nearly as bad, and we walked most of this property. It's hilly for sure. This area between the two cul-de-sacs is relatively flat across there. If you were looking for a build site, I think you'd have a hard time doing too much better than that, especially on this parcel. But you're back in the woods, back away from the road and everybody. I think it's pretty cool. So we'll get back, look at some more pictures here. You can see it's all just heavily wooded. Look how big these trees are. I've got a couple other pictures. I'm surprised that there hasn't been more logging go on back in this subdivision because there are huge, huge trees throughout it. Even if you just wanted to do a managed cut, just a real selective harvest, man, there's some great big trees all over the place on this thing. And you can see there's nothing to this property. It is a wooded property through and through. But here's another picture of just how big those trees are. I mean, they're giant. And so this last picture comes back around to this last corner. Let's get us straightened up here. We'll see where we're at. And so that is this corner here on the road. That this whole area, we were able to find survey markers for some of it. Some of the other areas, we just used GPS coordinates to hang surveyor tape. But for the most part, everything is kind of laid out with survey stakes, so you can see exactly how this thing sits. We go back and take a look at the property. We're asking $26,900 for this property, 14 acres. So it's works out. It's well under $2,000, 1,900 and change per acre. If we go over and look at Land Watch, which is where we get a lot of our comps from, we go to Dallas County, and then we're going to narrow it for properties between 11 and 20 acres and see what else is out there in the market. Here's our property right here on top. We do just like I assume lots of y'all do. We sort it price lowest to highest. that there's another one, and this actually is there in that Winchester Gap, a little under 12 acres for 23.5. So they're priced real competitive with us, but everything else is pushing 25 to $3,000 an acre. So I think that we're priced really really competitively on this property, with that wetland feature. I think that's going to be a great draw. So whether you're looking to have some place to build a house, or you just want some hunting ground, or you just want to be close to Bennett Springs, that you'd have a hard time doing much better than this property. Unfortunately, we're not able to offer any owner financing because of the price point on this property. But if you're a cash buyer, I think that you've got instant equity in this thing the day that you buy it, because we've got it priced to sell. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you want to go walk around on this thing, we encourage you to do that. You can send me a text or email or call me, and I'd be happy to send you a Google map that will show all the property boundaries on your phone while you're walking the property. That makes it a little bit easier. But this thing's going to sell pretty quick. And so even if you just have a little bit of interest in it, I encourage you to get out there and take a look at it. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great day.